I'm Lauria, and this is Learn to Burn on Rock Guitar Method. This video will fill you in on many things that are left out or taken for granted in other methods. By watching and playing with me, you'll learn some of the most commonly used rock rhythms, rock lead patterns, and most importantly, how to combine them so that you can learn to play like your favorite rock guitarist. Then with devotion and practice, develop your own style. Remember, no music reading is required. Just watch and follow me through the video. If at any time you don't understand something, just go back to that section and watch it until you do. In addition to the video, I recommend my book and audio cassette, Learn to Burn on Rock Guitar, which expands on the materials covered in this video. This is put out by Mel Bay Publications and is available at your local music store. Now grab your guitar, fire up your amp, and get ready to learn to burn on rock guitar. Before we can learn to burn, we need to figure out what we're burning on. So in this section, I'd like to show you the parts of the guitar. This is the body. This is the neck of the guitar. These are the frets, starting with the first fret, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and so on up the neck. These are the fret bars, which divide the frets. And these dots are the fret markers, and they are in relation to fret number positions, which are located at the 3rd fret, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th, 15th, 17th, 19th, and 21st fret. This makes it easier to find any fret quickly without having to count up the neck each time. These are your string names, and they are E, A, D, G, B, and E. Up above the neck of the guitar, we have the tuning keys. They are used to tune each string higher or lower. Later on, we'll be tuning our guitars together. Now down here, located on the body of the guitar, is the bridge. And these are your pickups. This one is the lead pickup, and this one is the rhythm pickup. Today, we're only going to use the lead pickup. Now, for those of you who have never played a guitar before, there are two very important points I want you to memorize. One is the open string names, E, A, D, G, B, E. 2 is where the dotted fret markers are on the neck, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15, 17, 19, and 21st fret. This will make it easier and faster to find every fret quickly without having to count up the neck each time. Also, for those of you who already know how to play and are familiar with these two important areas of the guitar, you will naturally learn and benefit at a faster rate. By the way, the guitar I'm using is a Westone Pantera Electric. I like it because of its heavy sustaining sound and also because of its low action, which means that the strings are close to the neck, making it easier to play high on the neck as well as low on the neck. Here, let me show you some things. As you can see, I used a lot of bends, and so are we during the course of this lesson. That's why I like to use Dean Markley strings, because they hold their tone and they last a lot longer. Remember, in music, as in many other professions, it's just as important to use the proper tools as it is to have the skill to use them. That's why I use the crate amp for the burning, screaming rock sound. Before we start playing, we need to warm up our hands. So put your hands up like this. Your hands should be at a 45-degree angle outward. Make sure the tension stays the same in both hands. Gradually increase the tension and slowly stretch the fingers. Now have the hands slowly go out to the sides. As you do this, you increase the circulation in the wrists and the arms, and it leaves the hands. It should hurt just a little. If it hurts a lot, ease up the tension. Now gradually come back with the hands and open them up like you're going to hold a basketball. Inward. They should feel slightly stronger now. Now gradually release the tension 1 degree and hold it. Release it again and hold it. Release it again, hold it, and release it again. And one more time. Remember, start slow and then increase the time as you feel comfortable. Good. Now set the guitar on your left leg. Arch your fingers and keep your thumb on the lower back of the neck, like this. Always play with your fingers at a right angle to the fretboard, like this. You only move your thumb when bending strings, and then move it back to its original position. Keep your fingernails short. This helps to keep the tips arched and directly on the fretboard. Proper position of the guitar is everything to playing your best. If the way you play now is a little different than what I've showed you, it could take a little time for you to become comfortable with this change. Don't worry about it, just be patient, and in time this adjustment will feel comfortable. The pick I use is a heavy pick, not medium or light, because if you use lighter picks, later on this will make your technique suffer. Now I want you to hold the pick slightly at an angle like this. And pick your thin E string. This is going to help you play faster and clearer. Remember, always pick down, up, even when changing strings. Okay, good. Now we're ready to tune our guitars together. I've played the guitar for many years, but I still use a tuner. I've found that tuning by ear can take anywhere from 2 months to 2 years to learn properly. The tuner I'm using is a sacrochromatic, and without pressing any buttons, it will automatically adjust to each string and tell me whether I'm in tune. That's why I prefer to use an electronic tuner over any other type of tuning device because of its accuracy. Now I want you to turn your tuning key into the string tone sounds like mine, string for string. And it may be necessary to keep playing this section until your guitar sounds like mine. We'll start with the thick E. A. D string. G string. B string. And thin E string. Good. Now that we're in tune, let's start by picking each open string slowly and gradually build your speed as this becomes comfortable, starting with the E string. Now the finger exercise starts with the first finger at the first fret, pick down. Third finger at the third fret, pick up. Fourth finger at the fourth fret, pick down. Third finger at the third fret, pick up. Now in a continuous motion it sounds like this. Good. Now I have my metronome set at 80 beats and it sounds like this. And with it set at 100 beats, it sounds like this. And with it set at 200 beats, it sounds like this. And at triple speed, it sounds like this. Okay, great. As you can see, this will develop your right and left hand coordination. Remember, keep your fingers arched in a right angle to the fretboard. Fingers and pick must play at the same time, or you will get a hammer-on sound like this. And sometimes your fourth finger will tend to jump away from the string, so keep it as close to the fretboard as possible. Also, for additional exercises, refer to pages 9 and 10 of my book, Learn to Burn on Rock Guitar. As we go into the lesson, I'm going to be using a Seiko metronome. Some of you may not use a metronome or feel that it's important, but this tool is going to help you keep in time for scale forms, leads and rhythms. Also, your finger exercises are going to become clearer and your speed will develop at a much faster rate. So let's get started on the most commonly used rock chord patterns. Starting with the A bar chord, make sure you put your finger firmly across the strings. And we are only going to pick the A, D, and G strings. And as I stated earlier, always pick down, up, even when changing strings. Pick the open A string 6 times. On the 7th time, strum. Using the same picking, start the A chord at the 2nd fret. 5th fret. 7th fret. 5th fret. And with the metronome set at 100, it sounds like this. With the metronome set at 132, it sounds like this. And with drums, it sounds like this. Remember, make sure each chord pattern feels comfortable before moving on to the next one. Okay, good. Now let's do the C chord. Put your first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. Place your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Pick open E string 6 times. On the 7th time, strum. Using the same picking, start the C chord at the 3rd fret. 5th fret. 7th fret. 7th fret again. And with the metronome set at 100, it sounds like this. And with the metronome set at 132, it sounds like this. And with the drums, it sounds like this. Okay, good. Now let's do the D chord. Start with first finger, 2nd fret, G string. Second finger, 2nd fret, thin E string. Third finger, 3rd fret, B string. Using the same picking, we'll start the D chord at the 2nd fret. 5th fret, 7th fret, and 2nd fret. And with the metronome set at 100, it sounds like this. And with the metronome set at 132, it sounds like this. And with drums, it sounds like this. After you've memorized the patterns, get a tape recorder and record about 5 minutes of each pattern on tape for future use. Later on, when you have learned the scale forms, you can then play live to the recorded patterns. For each chord pattern, I will now show you one lead scale form that will match, starting with the C major scale at the 5th fret. With the metronome set at 80, it sounds like this. With the metronome set at 120, it sounds like this. Good. That matches with the A chord. Now this is how to play the D blues scale form, starting with the D blues at the 10th fret. And with the metronome set at 80, it sounds like this. And with the metronome set at 120, it sounds like this. Good, that matches with the D chord. Now I'll show you how to play the G pentatonic scale form, starting with the G pentatonic at the 12th fret. And with the metronome set at 80, it sounds like this. And with the metronome set at 120, it sounds like this. Good. That matches with the C chord. One more thing I'd like to mention is that the scale forms I just showed you are the most commonly used in rock guitar today. In this section, we are going to be combining common rock techniques with scale forms to help you create your own lead riff combinations. And we'll start with vibrato, to move finger back and forth on fret. Bend, to bend the string to a desired tone. Slide, to move along frets. Hammer on, to use finger strength alone to tap on fret. Pull off, to use finger strength to pull off from one note to another note. Hold up, to hold up a note, usually so you can pick another note. Let down, to let down the note you were holding up. Trill, this is a hammer on and pull off in succession. Hold, to hold that note while picking the next note. The techniques I just showed you applies to all scale forms. Remember, you can vibrato, bend, slide, hammer on, pull off, trill, hold up, or lent down. Then you can use these techniques in any combination, as long as you stay within the notes of the scale form. Now we're going to play scale forms with the techniques I just demonstrated. Starting with the A chord, use the C major scale form, and with drums and bass added, it sounds like this. Okay, great. Now let's use the sliding C chord with the G pentatonic scale form. And with drums and bass added, it sounds like this. Great. Now we use the sliding D chord. And we'll use this with the D blues scale form. And with bass and drums, it sounds like this. We have now completed Learn to Burn on rock guitar. We have covered some of the most common chords, chord progressions, scale forms, and rock techniques. With practice and imagination, you'll be able to expand on the examples presented in this video. So now it's up to you to create as many combinations as you possibly can to develop your own style. So keep on rocking, and I'll see you next time.